So maybe you're thinking about moving to Phoenix. You're curious about how much it costs to live here in the Valley of the Sun. Well, this video is going to be all about cost of living right here in Phoenix, Arizona, so stay tuned. Hey there, my name is Denise Nunley. I'm a local real estate agent right here in Phoenix, Arizona. In this video, we're gonna talk about 4 things to consider if you're thinking about moving here and what the cost of living is in Phoenix. This includes housing, commuting, schools, and the lifestyle. On this channel, we talk about everything related to the Valley of the Sun and Phoenix. I'll be doing weekly videos about Phoenix and what it's like to live here, so make sure you click on the subscribe button below. Make sure you click on the bell so you're notified of any new videos that are on this channel. First, let's talk about the obvious, right? The cost of housing. So right now in Phoenix, the median home price is about $295,000, which means for about $1,500 a month or so, you can buy a home in most parts of the valley. But what if you're renting, right? Expect to pay on average about $1,300 a month for a 2-bedroom apartment. We're just right at that national average of $1,400 a month, so not too far off of what everybody is doing in the country. We did have a huge increase in rental prices last year, and if you're looking for kind of the cheapest part of the valley, Glendale is going to be where you're going to find the cheapest rents. There's definitely more expensive parts of the valley to live in. Paradise Valley is probably our most expensive real estate up on Mummy Mountain. It's where most of our millionaires are living at. So there's also several Scottsdale neighborhoods that are not too far behind where Paradise Valley is as well. So if you're looking for more affordable housing, usually got to go a little bit to the outskirts of town, places like Mesa, Maricopa, and Buckeye. Those are our more affordable options. But downside is you got to go a little bit outside of town. All right, so let's talk average salary in Phoenix. It's about $66,000 a year on average, which is 5% higher than the national average. We do have some pretty big employers here in the valley. We've got Honeywell, American Express, Banner, Intel down in Chandler, and then also Arizona State University. So go Devils. One of the downsides of Phoenix is that it's really spread out. So if you're thinking you want to be in a city center, our city center has quite a few condos and kind of older homes really in the downtown and central part of Phoenix. So one of the great things about being downtown is we actually have one of the country's biggest self-guided art walks called First Fridays. So every first Friday of the month, we get a whole bunch of people out on the streets, and basically it's a really cool, just a place for artists all to gather. If you're looking for something a little more historical, we have the Roosevelt Row Arts District, and in one of these videos, I definitely am going to highlight that area because it's super cool. The homes have been around for quite a while, and they've really redone that area to be awesome. As far as suburbs, really, there's no place that you can go here in Phoenix that there isn't some kind of small suburb. You just really need to think about how far is your commute from where you're at, and what's your distance, how far are you willing to commute, because you can pretty much get something in any part of the valley. There's really a lot of great neighborhoods that are really high in price to really low in price, depending on what you're looking for in terms of maybe schools or commute length or just lifestyle and how that is. So let's talk about the second piece, which is the cost of commuting or living here. In my opinion, I think Phoenix actually has one of the worst public transportation systems for such a big city. We do have a light rail system that runs to certain parts of the valley, but in general, you can't get it from every part of the valley. There's very few options. And so what do people do? They turn to commuting, right? So most of everybody in this town drives a car, which means we have quite a bit of traffic, right, during rush hour. If you are interested in being in parts of Mesa and Tempe and Central Phoenix, you can access the light rail and bus passes for about $104 a month, roughly, to be able to use all public transportation. It is good for some parts of the valley, like I said, but not so good for many parts of the valley. We are fortunate to have HOV lanes for most of our highways. So if you want to share the ride with just one other person, you can save on the cost of getting to and from work just by ride sharing. When I was working downtown in Phoenix at Banner, I had a 20-mile commute. Most days took me about 45 minutes. However, you'll hear from the locals, when it rains, there's nobody that knows how to drive here at all. So you can take a commute that is 45 minutes and turn it into 2 hours thanks to heavy rain. Lucky thing is we don't get a lot of heavy rain throughout the year. So there's only a few days that you have to worry about that kind of traffic. So one of the things I can tell you from my 20-mile commute is that I was going through about a tank of gas a week. And I was driving a little Toyota Corolla. If you're thinking about what the cost of gas is going to be here, because obviously you're going to need to be driving your car. Right now, as of May, our average gas price in Phoenix was $2.14 a gallon. So not too bad, really. So this brings us to our third piece, which is the cost of schools. Here's the deal when it comes to schools in Phoenix. Really, you can send your kids to almost any kind of school you want. We have private high schools, we have public, we have charter schools. There's really any option you really want. On average, most of our private high schools are going to be about $14,000 a year and will probably be something in the religious denomination, a Christian or Catholic school. If you want to send your kids to a private school for elementary, we average about $8,100 a year for tuition in an elementary school. Majority of us probably send our kids to public schools. That's obviously free, except for usually sports. Sports will cost for kids to participate, but there is a tax credit that you can use up to $200 per person per year. So if you're a married couple, you can claim $400. And that comes back to you right at the end. So you can pledge that towards your kids' sports fees and things like that. So what about the lifestyle costs? Let's talk food, which is really one of my favorite things. I probably go out with my girlfriends and my husband. We go out and eat meals quite a bit. And for a drink or two and a meal, it's going to cost you roughly about $40 a person in most parts of the valley. There are some places that you can go where it's going to be a lot more expensive. And if, happy hours are your thing, it's a really great way to get some bargain drinks. Also, obviously socialize with friends and be able to taste parts of the menu in some of the more expensive restaurants. So twice a year, we have many of the top valley restaurants that put together a special menu for Restaurant Week. You can come in for a fixed price. I think you say that like fee pricé. I can't even talk French, but there's some kind of French term for that, for fixed price. But you can try some great food by some of the top chefs across the country. It's a really great way to sample some of the restaurants is to wait for Restaurant Week. If you're thinking about cocktails are fairly expensive in most of the downtown area. Our downtown drinks on average are about $13 per drink. So you might want to pregame it maybe on that side of it. But if you're into dive bars, and that's one of the things that we will be going through is I'm going to talk about the top 10 dive bars in Phoenix. We'll take you through a visit of some of those and show you where you can get some great deals on beer and domestic well drinks. You might want to know about income tax rates and really sales tax rates, which to me are the boring part of things. But if you are interested in that part of it, we have an average of about 8.33% for sales tax. We are one of the highest in the nation. I think actually 11th in the nation for sales tax. So you can expect to make sure that you're paying your taxes here whenever you purchase something. And it does not have to just be, goods. It can also be food. So depending on how much you make, on average, most people are going to be in the 2.5 to 4.5% tax bracket based on wherever their income is. And our property tax rates are actually lower than the national average at about 0.77%. So you can expect to, say thank you to our retirement community because Arizona has quite a few retired people in it. I think they help to keep our property taxes low. So let's talk about AC and, those electric bills, because I'm sure you've probably heard some nightmares. I know I've had friends that have had electric bills that have been upwards of $600, which is crazy to me. But in general, because we do have AC in our scorching hot summers, and if you're like me, keeping your house at 73 degrees or so, you're gonna pay higher than average for electricity bills. So our average monthly is about $128, and that makes us 6th in the nation for cost for electricity. Kind of crazy, right? But if you're a fan of solar, one of the great things about Arizona is we have lots and lots and lots of sun. So if you like solar, most houses can be equipped with it for the most part, and a lot of them, if you're moving here, will actually have that built in. Just be careful, because a lot of times you have to check whether or not the equipment is leased or whether or not you're going to own it if you actually go through and are looking at a house that has solar power. So something to kind of consider. Just a note, some of you guys might not know this, but outside of Phoenix, we have the 2nd largest nuclear power plant in the nation. It's a Palo Verde nuclear generating station. So a lot of our electricity is nuclear generated, which is efficient, cost efficient, which is nice. I hope this video gave you guys some insight into the cost of living in Phoenix. If you have any questions at all about living in Phoenix, please don't hesitate. We have a lot of people reaching out to us asking about moving here. It is a great place to live, and definitely we're happy to help you, so don't hesitate. Just if you need a question, drop it down below in the comments. I will make sure that I actually answer all of your questions. And if you like this video and you want to receive more videos that are focused on everything about Phoenix, make sure you subscribe below. I will have a weekly video coming out. And my name is Denise Nunley with eXp Realty. I'll see you in the next video.